Hello everyone, Melanie here with CGL Recruiting, and today we're going to be talking about, can I quit a job that I just started? This question is coming up a lot in this post-COVID pandemic. I know some people are still in the middle of it, but I hope that we're starting to come out of it. A lot of you took a job during the pandemic, you lost your job, you took a new job, and you thought this new job was going to be everything you wanted to be, and it has not turned out that way. And the question I'm getting asked a lot is, can I quit a job I just started? Is that going to do me career damage? How is that going to look on my resume and my LinkedIn profile when companies and recruiters are looking at me? Now, this is a big concern. So we're going to kind of talk through it from an HR perspective and from a personal perspective as well to try and give you the best data possible. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment and do that now. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications so it'll let you know as we have new videos that are coming up. And if you have a more specific question that you want to ask surrounding this issue, don't forget you can always put a comment down below. We do look at each and every one and do our best to reply. Okay, so can I quit a job that I just started? Well, the answer is almost always, and let me talk in the US more specifically, is almost always yes. There are some positions where you may be on a contract, where you put in a very special contract in place with you and the employer, or they put it in place, where you are required to remain in their employ for a certain amount of time, or there's consequences. Let's take those out of the picture because that's a very small subset of the population that has that. For most everybody else, yes, you can quit a job that you just started. And may it be in your personal best interest to do so? Yes, it may be. If you're in a situation that is causing you physical, mental harm or damage, it may be the best case solution for you to quit that job and then refocus back on your job search. However, there are some things for you to consider when you do this. One of the big things that companies look at when they look at your resume is your tenure. And your tenure is just the amount of time that you spent in each job. Now, if they see that you are changing jobs every couple of months or even every couple of years, it raises a question of, are they going to stay with me? Am I going to waste all this time and energy training this person and they're going to just walk away? Now, is it fair for a company to say, well, they have to stay for 5 years or I really want? No, but they do get to pick that choice. And it does happen. So you need to be very aware of your tenure. If you have had a job for 10 years and you get laid off and then you take a job for 2-3 months and you realize this is not what I thought I was walking into, and you leave that job, that's not as big of a deal as if you jumped ship every couple of months or every year. So when recruiters and companies do look at this, they are going to look at your tenure as a whole. If they see that you've had lots of times that you had longer tenure and just 1 or 2 little tenure things, it's not going to do you as much damage or hurt as much during the hiring and recruiting process. So if you do have this, how do you show that on your resume and on your LinkedIn profile? Well, you don't ever want to lie, right? But there may be times, your resume is not a legal document. Your resume is a representation of you. As long as you are not falsifying data or lying on your resume, saying that you have something that you don't, like I have a degree that I don't have, I worked for this company and I didn't work. Other than that, it's just a representation of the best of you. So it is okay sometimes if you had a job for 2 weeks and it didn't work out to not include that job on the resume. And that's a personal choice. I can't tell you always include it, always not. It'll depend on the flow and the total of your resume. But there are times where you may not need to include that if it was a very, very short amount of time. If, however, you are one of those people that for whatever circumstances, was it something that you made some bad decisions and left companies quickly, or are you just in an industry where there has been crazy amounts of layoffs, or the whole pandemic has caused you to have more jobs in the last 2 years than you have in the last 10 years, it's okay for you to know that it's not necessarily your fault and that you can't necessarily change that on your resume. What I would try to tell you, though, is if you've been in that situation through no fault of your own, try to get your next job to be a longer tenure. Try to stay at least 2 years if you can. When you get 2 years, and especially if you're representing your time on your resume by year and not month and year, if you were like from December of 2019 through January of 2021, and you just put 2019 through 2021 on your resume, it looks good, right? It looks like a longer period of time, as opposed to if you had a job from January to February of 2021 and you're just putting that 1 month. So use those time frames of the years sometimes to help it look a little bit better. But if you can, stay for at least 2 years to help companies see that you have a longer tenure. So can you quit your job that you just started? You can if you need to. You can. It is always easier, I think, to find a job when you're already employed because you are not as stressed out. You are not as stressed out during the recruiting process. You're not worried about no money coming in. So I always find it easier to hang on and just kick up your job search so you're looking at the same time. Now, when you do kick up your job search, you are going to have to answer the question of, well, why are you looking? You just took this job. And it's okay to be honest and say, well, I thought this position was going to be more focused on this. It is not what I hoped for. And I'm really looking for the following. Don't badmouth the current employer, but it's okay to make sure that they understand that it's just not what you thought it was going to be. All right, everyone. As always, I hope this data was helpful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. I will do my best to answer each and every one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.